This is your sign to move out of your hometown. You don't want to be a townie. Where I grew up, I love where I grew up. I'm so grateful for all the experiences that shaped me to who I am. But when you move out, it forces you to become a better version of yourself. If you're going through a breakup or heartache, you need to move. If you want to find a new social circle, you gotta move. If you want to make more money, you gotta move. Right now, let's talk about how the hack to getting over a breakup is by moving. I found this note that I wrote the other day that I wrote like about my ex, and I was so heartbroken. Have you ever been through a breakup before? Where you can't sleep at night, you're so anxious, you can't eat, no appetite, you're always just thinking about this person, you have low drive. Well, yeah, that was me. That was me a few years ago. And it's really hard to break that cycle of thoughts because of your environment. You wake up, you have the same routine, the same thoughts are reinforced that when you wake up, you look at the same wall. You eat in the same kitchen every day. You go on the same drive to work, the same drive to the gym. You need to break up that routine because then it's a blank canvas. That's why moving away is a super hack to getting over your ex. The second part why you need to move out of your hometown is because of social opportunities. Humans are social. We are meant to conversate. We are meant to laugh. We are meant to create experiences and do crazy shit with our friends. Sometimes it can be hard to find that tribe if you're just secluded to your hometown. My closest friends today, I met off the internet. We met in person and then we ended up deciding to move to Miami like a weekend later. You want to find a city where people vibrate on your frequency. I live here in Miami Beach, so there's a lot of people who are passionate about health, passionate about business, passionate about the spiritual aspect, the spiritual world. You also want to be in a city where the beautiful people are. Miami has the most gorgeous people in the world. It's crazy when I go back home, and I'm not here to shit on my hometown because I love my hometown, but I'm just like, yo, the beautiful girls in my hometown wouldn't even be mids in Miami. So go to a city, most cities, New York, LA, probably Houston, just any city has more beautiful women. Another thing, when you live in your hometown, you're kind of just secluded to the people that you went to high school with to date. And I know I've been there before, just such slim pickings. And it wasn't until I left my hometown where I was exposed to just great dating life, great dating aspects, a great dating experience. The reason why you want to move out is because of money opportunities. The city that I live in, Miami, it's very expensive. I spend so much money. However, the opportunity to make money is really good. Now, see, I grew up with a scarcity mindset around money, that money was very finite and it was gonna run out. We always had to save, conserve money. As I grow up, I learned this lesson from an online program, My Rich Friends and My Poor Friends. What are the differences that my rich friends do that my poor friends don't do, and what's the differences that my poor friends do and my rich friends don't do? One of my biggest eye-openers was rich people don't have an attachment towards money. They look at it very abundantly, that it will always come back to them. I didn't grow up poor, but like I said, there was a scarcity mindset, and like $20 was a lot, $40 was a lot. I'll never forget when I started freelance work, I quoted a future client $3,000 for a month of social media services. I'll never forget, he looked me dead in my eye and he said, "Brendan, that's not a lot of money to me. Let's do the deal." $3,000 still is a lot of money to me, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But he didn't flinch. And that's because when you leave your hometown, you need to meet new people. Meet new people who have different attachments and views towards money, because it will open your eyes. One of my good friends, Jamie, one thing I learned from him, he says like, I don't want a few bucks to break my back or something along the lines of that. He's like, I don't want a few bucks to break the bank. He's like, $5 extra, $10 extra on a meal, fuck it, let's do it. Being around that energy where it's like, yo, time won't come back, but money can come back if you're smart. Another thing is like the personal development. When you leave your hometown, you'll realize a lot of the shit that you stress about isn't that important. I'll never forget one of my nights in Miami. My boys from Nicaragua, they barely spoke any English. I barely spoke any Spanish, but we just vibed, like our energies were in alignment. I went out with them and they took me to the hood of Nicaragua in Miami, and I had such a great time. And these people were a lot of hard workers, they were laborers, and I just know I've had a different experience to them. And then they're just normal people, they're on their regular day grind, and they have a different set of problems than me. I have a different set of problems than them. We have different life experiences, and because of the contrast in our life experiences, it made me question my problems. I'm like, wow, the things that I'm doing aren't really that big. They aren't really that important. People who live in their hometown, they have such a limited view on their problems. They have such a limited perspective on the size of their problems. In your hometown is comfort. It's comfort, it's easy, it's safe, but you limit your growth. You need to break through the matrix, because you'll realize, man, some people don't want to change. Some people will never change. I go back home sometimes and I'm like, man, they're doing the same thing. They're not aware that there's a whole world out there. There's a whole world out there. There's 5 things that girls look for in dating, and the 5th one is you have to demonstrate that you're a risk taker, and that's very desirable in somebody to take risk. For me, when I moved to Miami, I was in this bliss point between I had delusional confidence in myself, and also I was a little naive and a little ignorant to how difficult life would be. And I went through some lows. I lost a lot of money, but the experiences were priceless. What I overcame was priceless. This is your sign. Don't be a townie and move out.